Hello guys, so this is day 18 with my Nurturite 360. As you'll see here, 3 days left. Again, we are doing the dry hatch method, so it is 33% right now. I have not put any water in this whatsoever throughout the incubation. So right now we are going to start with candling this video. See what we can. I've got some stuff over here because I do need to put in. I'll show you how I'm going to put in a divider in here. Okay, forgive me. I had to. My good camera was not working. So we're going to be using our phone. But if you can see on this, this looks like a good little veiny egg. This one, it does look good, but it doesn't look like it maybe was quite there. I don't know. This one we'll keep in there. See, this one is not any good at all. It was fertile. You can see the chick there that started, but it did not make it. I'll set this one to the side. Alright, let's go with Maron eggs next. Not going to be able to see a lot through these. You can't really with the dark or green eggs, but this one has a lot of weight to it, and I can see an air sac clearly, but it seems good. Same with this one. Alright, I'm going to keep going through these real quick. Okay, moving on to the couple of olive egger eggs that I have, which are ridiculous to try to see through. I don't know if you can tell, because this flashlight isn't, it's just my phone. But I am seeing the air sac right there. Right there. And it does have some weight to it, so I'm going to keep that. And my Easter egger eggs. Oh man, you can see that one really well. That actually looks like it might have stopped developing. Yeah, it's got a lot of flotation in it. If you can see that. That one's not any good. We lost that one. Okay, yeah, that one's good. Okay. So this one is not good either. You can see in that. Oh, it's been 5 minutes. Sometimes you have to have a good egg to refresh what you're looking at. And last but not least, our Maron egg. Oh, it feels really light. That we tried to put hot glue over. You're not really going to be able to see into it. I can see the air sac, but I can tell you this egg feels light. Like if it was developing, it did not make it. And I am doing this after Letty went to bed. For this reason. These eggs are too delicate So we're gonna toss this one out. All right, I'll show you what I'm gonna do next. Okay, so here is what I'm just trying for this hatching. Of course, I have my different colored eggs. I'm kind of a little overrun with eggs right now, but I do plan on probably selling these. And if I do that, I need to keep the breeds separate just in case somebody wants specific colors. So I have used just this hardware cloth to divide up my incubator here. I've got 3 sections. So now we're going to put the eggs in. That seems decent enough. Once they start hatching, I can actually take these out of here and band them. That way I do have little colored zip ties here, and these are just the teeny tiny little things. We're just trying this out, looking at ways that we could potentially separate egg colors. Let me get these covered up correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Well, these are the eggs that I took out. Excuse the waffle from this morning. Children. I thought I had 30 in here, but guessing I had more than that. So I will let you back in the camera again. We will stay updated once they start hatching and go from there. Of course, these Marans, the only one that really felt light, was the one that we tried to wax over, which, I mean, I can feel it. It feels like a normal egg, like if I had just gathered it, where all of these had a little bit of weight to them when I picked them up. But I don't know, I can't see in them well enough to know for sure. I can just tell you that they're further along than, the other eggs. So we'll see how that goes. But stay tuned. I usually start having eggs pip on the 19th. So possibly tomorrow. We're going into lockdown a little bit late, but I had to kind of figure out a way to separate these eggs first before I moved them. I didn't want to move them twice. So here we go. All right, they're hatching. Still shows 2 days left. It should be switching to 1 day tonight.
Happy birthday, my wee darling.
Which one hatched?
None hatched. They're pipping.
This one pipped.
I got 2 of the Easter eggers here.
Oh, those are my beanie eggs.
Yeah, there's 2 in there.
Yay, baby.
We got a Maran
This one
egg.
is pipped.
Maran egg here.
A bull, Fergus. She's a lady.
Let's see.
What?
We have 2 hatched,
Save the world?
and I have lost track of how many that are pipped. Maybe 10? Yeah, maybe 10. Okay, guys, I just kind of wanted to give you an update here. They are hatching. I did have to... So the one thing with your eggs in your incubator that you should never do is once you hit that day 18 and your eggs start to pip, you should not open your incubator. And the reason being is that humidity, even if it drops just a little bit, the this inner membrane here that you can kind of see, like right here, hanging on the edge of this egg, it will actually shrink wrap your baby chick inside of the egg that they cannot hatch out. So what had happened, you know, I'm also going over this divider that I put in here. You'll see this one. He's already got his head over there. So the very first chick that hatched, I had 8 or 9 eggs pipped, and the very first chick that hatched stuck its head over here and kind of bent the wire a little bit and got on the pokey edges of that hardware cloth that's in there. And that was a safety issue in itself that I went through, and I had to open it and put these styrofoam pieces on here on the edges. So I mean, when I opened it up, you can see this side a lot better than this one because of the glare of my light. But so all I did was, I mean, I opened it up and stuck it on there real quick and closed it back. I mean, it was a 3 to 5 second, literally, but just in that, it dropped my humidity, which was hanging out about 85%. I mean, it dropped at 5 degrees. So I waited for it to come back up a little bit, but I had to do that here, and then, you know, one on the back side. So by the time I did that 3 times over the little bit, it was, the incubator was down to 75%. It's hanging out at 80 right now. It's backwards, but. So, that caused a lot of my chicks to shrink wrap. This one is one of them. So when I expected to get up this morning to have a bunch of chicks hatched, all of the eggs that were pipped last night when I went to bed were still pipped. They had not progressed any. This one's adorable. This one's one of the first ones that hatched. This one is one that was pipped last night, and this one was one that was pipped last night. But they had not hatched. They had not progressed any because they had shrink wrapped. So this one of course was ready to go. I just pecked around the outside of the shell like a normal, like if you'll look at this egg, they pip in a circle. Actually this egg is the one that one came out of. So I just pecked it on around because it had one little pip mark in it, and that's it. So I pecked it all the way around in a circle the way they would do. I moistened, I've got some warm water right here that I just stuck my finger in it and moistened all the way around it. If it was, I mean, I've been working on a few around here. This one here is one that was pipped last night. This one was one that was pipped last night. And yeah, as soon as they start drying up, it gets fuzzy in there that you can't see through there. It's not pretty anymore. But so I've just done the same thing, went around the edge, dampened everything. This one I had dampened it, but the membrane was stuck to it. So it took a little bit extra. This one back here is pipped. I don't think it was one that was pipped last night, but I had to open it. You kind of get into this circle effect that once you open it to help the first ones that need help, now you're repeating the process with the second set that are just now starting to pip. So it creates utter chaos, and it's just, now I have to watch them like a hawk all the rest of the way through incubation and try to pay attention to which ones have been pipped for a while and which ones have been pipped for, 12 to 16 hours that they need some help. The Easter egger chicks over here are the first ones. They're like, they all hatched without any issues, without any incidents. I've got 2 here out of the 8 that were in here that have not pipped. But now I think with the Easter eggers, I could see in those and they all looked good. Mind you, my incubator still says hatch day is not until, well, it'll switch over to 0 tonight. So it says hatch day is technically, you know, like tonight, if you were to go exactly 21 days. So that doesn't mean anything that they're not pipped just yet. Holding out hope for them. Look at them laying down there. They're so cute. I love my chicks. Yeah, so that's what's going on, and I just wanted to kind of give you an update because I'm having to keep an eye on it really hard at this point. But it was a safety issue that led to it. I do think with my next batch, I'm going to get some craft mesh. Oh, my candle or my flashlight went out. Which if you don't know what craft mesh is, it's just a mesh. It's got little bitty fine holes in it, like a mesh, except it's plastic. When you cut it, it's pretty soft, but yet it's rigid. It is plastic that it holds its shape. So I think that I should be able to form it a lot closer to my edges here, to make something, to make my divider for my incubator instead of this wire. But that's how that's going. And I have looked up all kinds. I've tried to Google. I've tried my chicken groups on Facebook looking for recommendations on how to divide the incubator, and nobody has literally given me anything. Well, actually, one person did suggest putting the eggs, once they started hatching, putting the eggs in a mesh laundry bag. That way, it was real pliable, flexible, completely mesh. But that they would be grouped together, and I just didn't like the idea of them being grouped in a mesh bag. So I didn't go with that. But that's the one option that I had been recommended. And yeah, so this is what we're doing. Hopefully this will help. I know just this one time, even though this has been horrible, just this one trial and error has helped me for the future. So if this helps you in any kind of way as far as dividing your incubator, if you're anybody like me, that I have one hen laying each color of these eggs, that I don't want to wait 3 weeks to get a batch of eggs. I want to hatch them generally within a week is what I would like to do. But, if you've only got one hen laying them, you can't get a batch of eggs that quickly with one hen laying one color egg. So to have 3 different batches, that's 2 months. 6 weeks. If I wait 3 weeks for one, 3 weeks for another, and then I've got 3 weeks before my next ones go in, I just didn't want it. I just don't like doing that. That doesn't seem like this seemed like the best option for me that fit my situation. So hopefully this will help you guys. But we'll check back. I just want to let you know what's going on. I'm going into this with 28 eggs in the incubator. I have 6 Easter eggers hatched out. 2 olive eggers with 1 hatching, having help of some sort. I have 2 marrons hatched out with 3 hatching or hatched that I have helped. And then quite a few more pips from there. So I'll update you guys once they're all hatched out and I get them in a brooder, and we'll go from there. Okay, so my 17 chicks that I hatched out in my incubator a couple weeks ago, these guys are gonna start flying out over my shoulder. Getting a little height since the door's open. I did sell them an old, woo! Where are you going? Come here. Well, now I gotta catch that one. I do have a tarp under here, because that's a wire bottom. And I can just pull the tarp out and go dump it and bring it back. Anyway, I did sell them to an old high school friend of mine. She came and picked them up yesterday. They would have been a week old, or a week and a day, something like that. I don't remember quite what day they hatched out last week, but yeah, so they're all gone. They all survived as far as, because I didn't film an update for you guys. They all did great. no issues as far as me having to help them, you know, hatch out of the eggs or anything. It wasn't an issue with them being weak. It was, you know, them being shrink wrapped. So it's important to keep in mind when people tell you if you help an egg or a chick hatch out of the egg, it depends on the circumstances on why you're helping them, because they'll say if you have to help it that it won't survive. Well, in this case, there was nothing wrong with them other than the humidity dropped and they got shrink wrapped in that membrane. So they weren't weak or anything by any means. That's what happened with them.